because, as I told everyone in my Discord, I got the job. So yesterday I had an interview for a day job, and I got it. Yay. And I started this morning. Like super fast, right? Anyway, they do meetings every morning. Well, they did a meeting this morning, and then I found out that they do meetings every morning. So that's going to wreak havoc on my schedule for a bit until I get adjusted and figure out all the different changes that this new day job is going to have. Anyway, let's share the link. Get my glasses on so I can see the comments. There we go. Okay. Because, yeah, this schedule is going to change. I just don't know to what yet. Good morning. Yeah, Ty, how are you? It has been a while. Good morning. Seisha, hello. Judith, and thank you. How's the first day so far? Awesome. Is it work at home? Yes. It's content director, and lead copywriter. Yay. So, excuse me. And I've been working with them for a while already. You didn't receive a notification for weeks. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry. Hello, Art. But lead, yeah. Content director and lead copywriter. So, and I've worked with them on some short-term projects here and there, but this is now, they're bringing me in full-time. So, yay. Girl, I love your hair. Why, thank you so much. What a nice thing to say. I just don't know what that means for my schedule yet. I don't know. So when I first started going live, if y'all remember, I went live at like 8 a.m. No. Was it 8 a.m.? There was a while I was going live at like 8 a.m. And then I moved it to like 8:15. And then I moved it to like 8:30. And then it just kind of migrated itself to 9 o'clock. And it stayed at 9 o'clock for a long time, although sometimes I would be a few minutes late. But it pretty much stayed at 9 o'clock for a long time. But now I don't know. The kid ordered more books. I already printed them. He already sold all of his previous prints. Nice. They waited till after I said good morning this time. I think my son and his wife have forgotten that tomorrow's my birthday. Oh, no. No, it was later than that. No, Alex, no. It was like 8 o'clock. It might have even been 7:45. Because at the time, I was waking up at 5:30 every morning to get Steven up and ready for work. No, when I first started, before you were around, when I first started, it was a lot earlier. It was a few months and it was a lot earlier. And then the kids started school. Because I first started before the kids were even in school. Like Christopher wasn't even in kindergarten yet. And Piper, I was homeschooling because of COVID. But I used to have to get Steven up for work. He used to have to leave. No, shit. I would wake up at 4:45 because he had to leave by 5:15. And I had to wake him up because for whatever reason, he refused to wake up to his alarms. So I started going live super early before the kids woke up. You do like Baby Yoda. And then I moved it. And it was like 8:15 for a little while. And then it slowly migrated. He is just a man-child. He really is. But at the time, I was trying to save a marriage. I didn't know that he was a cheating ass at the time. I just thought he was a lazy man-child. I like your mug. Ah, thank you. You missed me? Oh, well, I'm glad that you got a notification this time. So started editing Space Indie 2, and for 5 chapters, it has only been commas. You have a love-hate relationship with commas. Your work in progress is done. Congratulations, Judith. Yay. No love at all. It's just a hate relationship with commas. It's a meh hate relationship with commas. Where did I get my hair dyed? I used... Where did I put my... I had my comb, didn't I? I did. There it is. I used a brand called Adore. I don't know if I'm saying it right. A-D-O-R-E. For all I know, it could be Adore. I don't know. But it's on Amazon, and it was about $7 for a tube that was, I don't know, or a bottle that was about that big-ish, like 4 ounces, which normally, typically what I do is I'll trim my hair a little bit and then bleach the roots and then, you know, like update the pink on the roots, which ends up brightening the pink the rest of the way down. So 4 ounces works. And I usually buy the 2-pack because the 2-pack is like $13 and change. So I save a little bit more money because I'm cheap when it comes to certain things. And the way I figure it, when it comes to hair dye, like if you're trying to cover grays and you're trying to make it look natural and you're trying, like, that should be done at a salon where you can have the highlights and the lowlights and like make everything look natural, right? With pink, I'm not going for natural. No one's thinking it's natural, so I don't care if it looks like a box dye. It is cheap, yeah. Can you do sprints? Yeah, we do sprints pretty much all the time on the Discord. Alex runs them almost 24 hours a day. I think she sleeps for about 45 minutes in there somewhere. And then she runs them like the rest of the day. or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty much constant. You thought I got it done at the salon? No, not the pink. 3 hours when Missy wakes up. I can't believe it's snowing outside. Sarah! Hi, Sarah. Yesterday wasn't a good writing day for me. Couldn't focus. Maybe today will be. I'm sorry you couldn't focus. Maybe today will be. Can you please motivate me? What usually motivates you? I have to figure out the story structure for my novel so I can make sure I hit all the beats. So, Seisha, what I do for that is, like, I know you're not writing romance, so you don't need, like, romancing the beat. I don't think you're writing mystery, so you don't need the mystery structure, right? And there's another one, horror. I have to say that extremely pronunciated because I don't want YouTube to think I'm saying something else, right? But horror. I sound like a puking cat. Horror. Sorry. The super scary ones. I always, whatever. Anyway, congratulations on the job. Thank you. You just subscribed. Thank you. Okay, and you're not writing the super scary ones, right? Beyond that, it doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter what structure you choose for your novel. There's women's friendships. Okay. You can go hero's journey. You can do save the cat. There's a lot of similarities between the two of those that you can choose from. My favorite happens to be save the cat. But if you're more familiar with hero's journey, then you can use that. Like, it almost doesn't matter at that point. Unless it's like a super specific niche, which you didn't. So I would just grab save the cat, grab a beat sheet and just go, okay, so what was my opening image? Okay, so what was my theme? What was my setup? And move on down. And if you don't know what it was, like if you get down somewhere, what was my break into two? And you have to think about it because you're not really sure when the moment was that you broke into two. Skip it. Move on to the next. So you know what you definitely have. Then you can read up on, like, maybe you have to refamiliarize yourself with what break into two means to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's this. Or you can go back and say, okay, I'm missing this altogether. I don't have a singular point in which the protagonist says, we're doing this. And you have to, like, go in and make sure that there is a clear point in which your protagonist stands up and says, no, we're doing this, and makes the decision for themselves. That's what I do. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a save the cat structure for that to work. Do you know what I mean? Like, at that point, you're just making sure the elements of the storytelling are in there. You're not necessarily trying to match the overall structure itself, if that makes sense. Unless it's like a mystery or a super scary or romance, because obviously they follow a completely different beat structure. What are the books you are reading today? I don't know. I don't think I have time to read today. Did y'all see Jessica Cage's Kickstarter out? I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. I want that book. I love the accidental date trope. And I feel like this is an accidental date trope. Maybe not. But that's one of my favorite tropes. Anyway, yeah, I'm not really reading as much today. I don't have any time set aside for reading today. Running on Empty by Natalie Goldberg. Book C of the ABCs. Ah. Hello. Writing on Empty. Oh, you need coffee? So do I. See, my schedule is so messed up today. I'm not having my coffee till right now. A not safe for work book. Callie summons a demon to go to weddings with. Yeah, the accidental date trope. I love them. You love me too. Why, thank you. Write a book or something. What are you doing? I am answering questions as they come up in the chat. This is a Q&A. Okay, you're getting a little bit weird. Good morning, what you up to? This is a chat on writing and publishing books. So if you are writing or publishing a book and you have a question, it's a really good time to pick my brain and get some answers. The feedback you got for that book is funny because you didn't have spice. Write a book and then get more questions for that. It'll be more interesting. Okay, well, I'm sorry I'm not interesting enough for you. People freaked out that you didn't have spice. Would a giant Cerberus with a diamond-studded collar and a big pink bow scare you? Puppy. Okay. What genre of book are you writing? So right now, most of the fiction books that I'm writing fall into science fiction. I do have a couple of fantasy books, and no, that's pretty much it because I really love science fiction and fantasy. I specialize in nonfiction. So most of the books that I have published right now are nonfiction, and the books that I write for clients are usually nonfiction. Hello, Allie. Again, I should say hi, Irene. Puppy, exactly. I just want to see Cerberus's tail start wagging. Okay? How are you doing today? Tiffany! Hello, how are you? I hope you have an amazing day. You love my hair. Thank you so much. Lord of the Rings, Star Wars vibes, Battlestar. Yep. Mine tends to fall, if we're going on a vibe scale, mine tends to fall somewhere around Doctor Who-ish. Right around there. But I am a fan of pretty much all of it. Doctor Who, Star Trek. I did not like the new Battlestar Galactica. I didn't. I preferred the old series. There were 2 of them and then a TV movie before the latest remake. I couldn't do it. But Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars, The Last Starfighter, Krull. I loved Krull. Ice Pirates. Big 80s B movie girl. Cerberus equals giant danger floof that I would 100% die trying to love on. Exactly. My last words would be puppy. My mother called me to sing to me and realized she was a day early. Well, I guess that's better than forgetting, right? Crazy girly smiling necromancer. Besides, it should be the scary part. Good. Do I like the Shrek books? I actually haven't read the Shrek books. Pink is my favorite. My teacher favorite. Nice. Phone messed up. Well, that's cool. It was nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you too, Sean. Thank you. Hello, Alexandra. I'm currently recovering from abdominal surgery. Oh my gosh, I'm glad it went well. 2 days post-op, so extremely high on pain meds. I'm dictating everything to my mom, so my comments are understandable. Hi, Mom! You made it a large... See? Cerberus needs to be a large lap dog. So glad you are recovering. I hope it goes smoothly. Yes. Do I have done syndrome? Yeah, I'm so frickin' done. What's your favorite color? My birthday's coming up too. Gonna get ice cream cake. Awesome. My favorite color is brown. Go figure. I do like pink, and I really like gray. But my favorite color is brown. Your birthday is coming up soon too. Nice. Happy birthday. Percy Jackson or Harry Potter? Well, I haven't read Percy Jackson, but I don't like Harry Potter. So I guess I'll go with Percy Jackson. How about Autumn Red? You seem like you like the forest during autumn. Through a window. I don't like the forest in general. I mean, it's very pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's very pretty. But I'm not going hiking through a forest anytime. Blue and ocean blue looks really good on you. Yeah, I did have teal hair once upon a time. If you go back far enough through like my TikToks and stuff, you will find me in purple hair and teal hair and periwinkle hair and all like coral and like all kinds of different hair. Is blood red hair too much for Valkyrie? I don't think so. You like Harry Potter? Even on YouTube. Yeah, I do think I repurposed some of them for YouTube and Pinterest. It's going decent. I feel like I overdid abdominal crunches at the gym. Also not using narcotic painkillers, so that's fun. Yeah, the non-narcotics, In a lot of ways, they work better, but one of the things that they really do not do is they don't kill the pain, because you've got to know that you're in pain so that you can report it when it's not right. So that's why. But in my opinion, they're better than narcotic painkillers, but not from the standpoint of killing the pain, because they don't kill the pain. You're going to check and go and be back. Okay, cool. And don't do any abdominal crunches right now, Alexandra. This is so not what they need you to do. Have you like walked around yet? After my hysterectomy, that was my you can go home when you can walk across the room and go potty. Like number 1 and number 2. That's when you can go home. And it was like 6 days before I could go home, because I couldn't, it just took me so long to do either of those. I'm sure you get this a lot, but what's the point of writing anything anymore with AI being so powerful? Ace! Ace! Here's the point. The people who will get the most out of AI are going to be the writers. The reason being, right now, the people who are the most excited for the AI are people who aren't doing the writing. They're people who are like, they're greedy companies who don't want to hire writers. So they think, oh, well, look, there's ChatGPT. Now I don't need to hire a writer anymore. I can use ChatGPT to do it all. Or they're people who are looking for like quick, rich things and are like, oh, hey, look, I don't have to write a book. I don't even have to learn how to write a book. I can just use ChatGPT with this prompt that this other person gave me and publish a book. They're the people who are the most excited. And they're the people who are weaponizing it against other people, against writers. But the people who are going to get the best benefit are going to be the writers, because A, we know what to look for. We know what goes into a good story. So we know how to craft the best prompts. We know how to put together the best scenarios. We know what we need when we go to ChatGPT and for help with whatever. Want to develop a character, need a quick backstory for an NPC, need a quick analysis of a passage and how to improve it for XYZ, whatever. We know what we're looking for. So we're able to use AI to streamline our process and help us, rather than trying to replace someone in an industry we don't understand. It would be like, you know how you get those like carpenters to like, they can see how good the wood is, you know, like they can actually like analyze and see how good the wood is. Or you get the sculptors who can, like, they say that they can see what the image is and it just reveals itself as they work. Or you get like plumbers who can listen to pipes and they can hear what's wrong with it. Like they can feel out where the plug is and stuff like that. Like they can do this. You can get AI. If me, as a non-plumber who's never worked in plumbing at all, built an AI bot to find what was wrong with your sink, would you trust me? Or would you trust the plumber who knows how to find, you know, like, that's the thing. The other thing I want to say too is ghostwriters. I think this is funny and it's really telling. I'm a ghostwriter. I've ghostwritten 65 books. You know what I'm not doing? I'm not out there saying, hey, if you want to be a ghostwriter, now's the time, because you can use ChatGPT and make $100,000 using ChatGPT to ghostwrite a book. You know why? Because it's damn near impossible. Like, you'll spend so much time working. You're not going to sell a book for $100,000. You're not going to do it. So if the freelance writers and the ghostwriters, the people who already make a living writing for other people, aren't out there telling you how to make money using ChatGPT and selling your articles, there's no opportunity there. Sun, Teal, and others. Yeah. So, but oh, good, I'm back. Wow, that was really fast. Okay, I was like, oh, I gotta sit here and wait for them to leave their voicemail. Sorry. Anyway, Ace, I hope that helps. Eventually, I think the tides are going to turn and the writers are going to get into the conversation a little bit more. And we're going to see more content out there about how writers can use the AI to help them tell better stories rather than non-writers trying to use AI to replace writers, because that's, yeah. How are my kitties doing? They're good. Where are they? Hello? Last time I saw them, they were up in my room hanging out in the window. Not hanging out the window, but like hanging out in the window. Which doesn't make any more sense than hanging out the window. But they're watching the snowfall. Like, because like it's spring, so there's birds. And they're watching the snowfall on the birds, and the birds are not happy. So they may not come down. I don't exercise voluntarily. Yes, I've been walking around today. Yesterday sucked and I could barely move. However, I did get some character development in. Yay! Eating McDonald's and I found a friggin' nugget with another built in it. Nice. It's good for background characters that are only going to be in a couple chapters. Also, I think it will never replace actual writers, but it can be a huge help. Yep, exactly. Like I wrote a custom GPT, not sharing it yet because it's not ready, but I was geeking out with Seisha. I was like, look at this. And then she couldn't because it requires a paid ChatGPT account. But basically what it does is you can upload a PDF file of your book and then ask it basically what kind of editing do I need and how much will it cost. And then it will read your book, come up with a summary of what was good about your book and what some of the structural issues might be. Then a list of what types of editing your book could benefit from, and then a range of pricing. Like, so, for X number of words, your book could cost anywhere from this to this for developmental editing and blah, 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 blah. Now, because you can't count words in PDFs, it doesn't know what the word count is. You would need to give it the word count. And then it deletes your book for privacy, which is why it requires a paid account. So, but how many authors would benefit from having even just a quick analysis of their manuscript so that now when they go to hire an editor, they have a better idea of what to ask for? I love your hair. That's my favorite color. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, my time is a little bit weird today. Do you have any other animals other than your cat? No, not in the house. My daughter wants a turtle. My son wants a tarantula. I want neither. I want neither of those. And the neighbor wants to give me some bunnies because her bunny had bunny babies. They're like 3 weeks old now. Yeah, there's no. And not even just a spider, but like gigantic hairy spider. Oh my God, thank you so much for the super thanks. I appreciate that so much, Ace. Thank you. Is it considered cultural appropriation to use a phrase from a foreign language to name my company? I want to use the Yoruba translation for chosen family. So cultural appropriation is when a member of a historically oppressive culture, white, translucent, white female, right? Historically, whites have been oppressors of so many people. Historically speaking, if a member of my race were to then grab onto and make money off of someone else's culture that they would normally have oppressed them for. Like, for example, so many Black women, for example, have been basically just bullied, and I'm trying to think of a YouTube friendly way of saying like TOR, churd, because I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, but like for having dreadlocks, right? So many. So when you see a white person wearing dreadlocks, that's cultural appropriation. They took something that they have always used against another culture to help them, to help oppress that other culture, and now they're using it and receiving praise for it and making money off of it, and so on and so forth. Without knowing your entire background, I don't know if that would be cultural appropriation for you or not. But that's what appropriation is. It's like using something against another culture and then being like, but I can do it because I'm better than you. That's cultural appropriation. How's the weather? Well, it's snowing outside, so the spring is not springing. I love bunnies. I am African American, but not clear on where my ancestors come from. So I would say there is a good chance that you'd be fine. I don't think anyone would give you a hard time over it. But be prepared if they do. Like sit down, take a few days to sit down and say, okay, what's the worst that they can say about me? And am I okay with that? Am I okay? And or is there a way that I can explain it so that I can let them know within my branding story that I'm not just appropriating something that's not part of my culture, and I am not I am not from a culture that oppressed those people, but I am showing a sense of solidarity and appreciation. Put that into your branding. Make sure it makes sense. But take some time to do that before you actually make your decision. Get 2 bunnies, get Thumper and get Curly and name them for you. Right? Underrated and underused negative traits for characters. I think almost any trait can be negative. The negative comes from extremes, right? So someone can be a rule follower to an extreme, it becomes a negative, right? Because they are the people who won't help you cheat on a test. Or they're the ones who are like, I cannot tell a lie, so I'm going to be brutally honest. And in my opinion, brutality has no business being near honesty. But like, they take the idea of honesty and use that as a justification for being rude because they're just being honest, right? Or they're sticklers for being on time. So if they tell you they will meet you at 6 o'clock and you're not there by 6:01 and then they leave. Things like that. Or they try to be super helpful, but they don't know how to be helpful. So like you get the Ray Barone moms, right? Who are like, oh, this house is so quaint and I love how you keep it dirty so it looks lived in, right? And they're being honest, and they think they're being helpful and giving you praise, but they're not. They don't know what they are. So if I were looking for something to like where I wanted to highlight either a flaw within my character or highlight that this character isn't a good person or something like that, I would take one of one of those types of traits and just make them use it to the extreme. How did you just go through all the people I've had to cut off of my life for the past 15 years? Because I've probably had to cut the same people out of my life. I'm sorry. All right. I think that was the last question. At least it seems that way. How do you balance archetype with stereotype? I hate cliche, but have been told that sometimes you have to lean into the cliche. Yeah. So you know what? The way they become cliches is because they work. That's the thing. So sometimes, yeah, you have to lean into that cliche because that what works. Stereotypes tend to be negative. So, and they tend to turn a character into a caricature. So think token. Ah, thank you for the super thanks. Okay, I'm back. So, a stereotype tends to take a character and remove anything about that character that would make them unique and give them a voice in your book, and just turns them into a token, right? When you think about like the token black guy or the token gay friend or things like that, they have no actual personality other than they're the black guy in a stereotypical fashion, right? And what you want to do is give them an actual presence, an actual voice, make them make a difference, give them personality traits that aren't just they're the gay friend. So that's how you avoid using a stereotype within your book. Cliches you can lean into. One thing that you can do is try to subvert expectations if you want. Depends on how you do it, obviously. There can be, sometimes you don't want to just throw in a plot twist because you're going, oh, well, everything's leading up for these two characters to come together now. So I'm going to make them miscommunicate so that they can't, because I don't want them to come together. Like, that's not a great plot twist. But maybe, for example, remember the first time in a movie the girl saved the guy? That subverted expectations and was wonderful, right? Or I'm trying to think of another example off the top of my head, and I can't right now because I suck at on the spot answers. Cliche I despise the most. Thank you so much, Ace. Have a great day. Cliche I despise the most. There's just one bed. Maybe if we sleep head to toe, we can use this one bed. What day is my birthday? Mine is in the summer. Do not forget how amazing you are. Ah, thank you so much for that. The UFBF. UFBF, boyfriend. Unfriendly boyfriend? Okay, the way you say it, that is bad. Forced proximity. Yeah, like there's nothing wrong specifically with forced proximity itself. But what ends up happening a lot of times is you've got forced proximity and zero development. So they're stuck in an elevator for 2 hours and they don't talk for like most of that time because these two people hate each other. But in the last 10 minutes, all of a sudden, one of them makes a joke and the other one just falls naked. What? Like forced proximity doesn't immediately remove whatever the harsh feelings were and make someone attractive. So why? Can't stand the one bed trope either. I really don't like it. Black football player who's pre-med dating his teammate roommate as well as his 2 female roommates. Is that too complicated? As long as you can keep track of all the body parts and your readers can keep track of all the body parts, totally fine. So he's poly. Make him poly. Lean into it. Let him be poly. It's fine. Just make sure that everyone can keep track of it. I can't stand the random rivals to lovers. Person A and person B hate each other as soon as they meet for no reason. Yeah, I don't like, and I don't like enemies to lovers, but that's because most of the time enemies to lovers is like literal enemies. They try to hurt each other. Like they actively try to hurt each other, but then because they were in detention together or something, all of a sudden they're best friends. And then they're sleeping together. Like, how do you forget that he tried to hurt you? How do you forget that, she did this to you? Maybe I hold grudges too much. I don't know. She didn't say anything about my book. Now I feel bad. Great. I don't know if you noticed, I try not to talk about anyone's specific book on here because I don't actually, you know how many times I have tried pulling up stuff about people's books here only for that person to be like, oh my God, don't call me out, and like start yelling at me for that. So my story is a polyamorous rom-com. It's one of the best cliches to lean into. I don't actually even think you really need cliches for that. But think rom-com. Sweet, funny. I would stay away from miscommunication because so many people hate the miscommunication trope too. You just talked about all the things in my last book. Did I? Did I? Would pre-med have time to both play ball and date all of those? Love and War. I told you I haven't read that one yet. I am very sorry if you felt like I was calling you out on something, because I wasn't. Yeah, I did not. I've never gone to pre-med, but I have had friends go to pre-med and they would not have had time. But I don't know. Call me out all you want. Y'all. All right, y'all. I gotta run. Thinking that I still didn't like. I'm sorry if I made you feel that way, Alex. It was not my intent. I am very sorry. You put in work on your development, though. I don't think I've ever seen you do, and granted, I haven't read all your books, but I don't think I've ever seen a scene in which you just threw people in bed just to have them in bed because that's what you needed them to do. Like, you actually work on the character development. I'm actually complaining about the development of those scenes, not the scenes themselves. All right. All I said, I gotta run. So thank you so much for hanging out. I know that my schedule is a little bit wonky right now. I'll try to get it figured out. But in the meantime, have an amazing day. Go get all the words written, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.